Let's look at how special ballots are counted in a federal election. Special ballot counting in a federal election, step by step. Special ballots allow electors to cast their vote no matter where they are during an election. Special ballots differ from the regular ballots voters use when they go to the polls on Election Day or during advance polls. They don't include a list of candidates running in the voter's riding. Instead, they have a blank space where the voter writes the name of their chosen candidate. A special ballot kit is issued to any eligible elector who applies for one. It includes the special ballot and a series of envelopes that protect the secrecy of the vote. It also ensures the ballot is sent to the right place. For those returning their special ballot by mail, the kit includes instructions and a prepaid return envelope. Special ballots are counted in one of two locations. Those from electors voting from inside their riding, whether by mail or in person, are counted at the local Elections Canada office for that riding. Those from electors voting from outside their riding are counted at a secure Elections Canada facility in Ottawa. They include ballots from Canadians who are traveling, living abroad, away for school or work, the Canadian Armed Forces, or incarcerated. Regardless of where the ballots are counted, the count process is more or less the same and is designed to be transparent and reliable. Here's how it works. Ballots are always counted by paid election workers. For transparency, parties and candidates are invited to send representatives to observe the count. Parties are also invited to recommend people to be hired as workers to count ballots at the facility in Ottawa. Their recommendations are given priority. Only those assigned to handle and count the ballots may do so. At all times, there are workers who supervise the count process and make sure the procedures are followed and transparent to those who are there to observe. Before the count begins, the doors to the room where the counting takes place are secured to make sure that only authorized workers are present and traffic in and out is only permitted when necessary. Steps in the vote counting process. Before counting begins, workers verify and sort the ballots to ensure the integrity of the count. They review the outer envelope to check that the ballot is from the elector who applied for it and that the elector has not already voted in another way. They also check that the elector signed the declaration on the envelope. At the counting facility in Ottawa, where ballots arrive from across Canada and all over the world, the outer envelopes are used to sort the ballots by riding. Once sorted, workers open the outer envelopes and remove the blank inner envelopes. Only the inner envelopes are used for the count. This protects the secrecy of the vote since the inner envelopes contain no information about the voter. The ballots are located inside the blank inner envelopes. For local special ballots, the blank inner envelopes are placed in a sealed ballot box, which is opened when counting begins. For ballots counted at the facility in Ottawa, the envelopes are removed from a sealed poll bag. The inner envelopes are removed and the outer envelopes are set aside for storage with other election materials. When counting begins, only the inner envelopes are on the table to be counted. Only authorized assigned workers may touch and count the ballots. The workers counting the ballots open the inner envelopes, review the name of the chosen candidate, show the marked ballot to the other counters and witnesses at local offices, put the ballot in a pile. There is one pile for each candidate. The votes for each candidate are tallied and recorded. Ballots are rejected if they are not marked at all, are marked in a way that makes it impossible to interpret the intent of the voter, or are marked for a candidate who is not running in that riding. For special ballots, the name of the candidate has to be written down on the ballot. The voter can also write the name of the party, but if only the party's name is marked, the ballot cannot be counted. Spelling mistakes are ignored if the voter's intent is clear. Workers check to make sure all the ballots have been counted. Then, they count the ballots in each pile and make sure the number matches the number of votes recorded on the tally sheet for that candidate. If they don't, the ballots are recounted. The results are entered into Elections Canada's secure election results system, so they can be published on elections.ca and shared with media outlets. The counted ballots are kept in a sealed envelope for secure storage or, if needed, future consultation. One envelope per candidate is used. For transparency, we document the verification and count of ballots. Official documents showing a record of the count are stored securely with the ballots and other election materials for at least 10 years after the election. The special ballot counting process is provided for by the Canada Elections Act and is observed by candidates, parties, and their representatives. On election night, media are invited to the counting facility in Ottawa to observe the count process. While counting ballots in Canadian federal elections is a relatively simple process, several measures are in place to make sure the process is reliable and that Canadians can trust in its integrity. Visit elections.ca to learn more.